Yeah. So today's focus is going to be on the cybersecurity interns. Okay. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, maybe you're trying to transition or you're already in the program and you're like, oh, you're already learning cybersecurity, but you're still like, you want to gain experience, you want to learn more. This is for you. Okay. So you get to listen to our interns, you get to learn exactly what these guys are benefiting from the program. So who is speaking to you here? I am Victory and I'm a data-driven growth strategist, right? So at some point during this session, you might want to ask questions. You might want to know the best way to transition. You want to know how to take the next career step. You get to ask all these questions and I'll be here to give you actual advice that have actually helped a lot of people transition into the tech space, and I am actually that go-to person. Okay, that's just in summary. And we're not here for me, we are here for Amdari. Okay, so what exactly is Amdari and what do we do for you? So Amdari is before I even get to that, why are we here? Let's start from there. A lot of people trying to transition into tech, it's they're finding it hard to get a job. That's just the truth. The job market in itself is it's difficult to get into. It's easy for you to, it's easy for you to apply to jobs. It's easy for you to get a training. It's easy for you to get a certification. But landing the job in itself is usually the problem, especially for people. Either you're coming from a non-technical role into tech, or maybe you just decided that, okay, I want to pick up this thing. I want to pick up cybersecurity, right? To start learning it. It's easy. There's so many training materials out there, but the problem now is getting the job. What exactly does it take for you to land a job in tech, right? We've done this research. We know what the job market requires. That's why Amdari even started in the first place, right? So the real reason you're overlooked is not because you don't have the certifications. You've probably had the certifications, right? You've learned this, you've gone through your training, but you're still overlooked because you do not have practical projects. You've never worked on an actual project. You don't have real experience to showcase. That is the problem. So when they're asking you questions during interviews, you have nothing to talk about, right? It's like you say you know how to do this stuff, but there is no proof that you can actually do it. Trust me, recruiters can sense when you are bluffing from a mile away, right? Your CV can get you an interview. It's easy to write it on your CV, right? A lot of people do it to get interviews, right? But in that interview ground, are you able to show these guys that you can actually do the work? That's the real question, okay? So it's one of the reasons you're getting overlooked. Your portfolio, there's nothing tangible on it. You probably have projects that over 10,000 people have worked on. We call that open source projects, right? There's this thing when maybe cybersecurity professionals or data professionals, you want to learn something, you go online searching Kaggle for projects and all of that. Yeah, it's great to use that to gain the skills, but will it give you experience? No, because those are projects that over so many people are working on the same projects. That's why you're getting overlooked. And you can't even answer scenario-based questions because you do not have the scenarios to talk about. So you see that there are so many reasons, and this is why Amdari is what it is, because we provide you with that environment for you to learn, gain experience, work on projects, and get hired. And that's why we are here today. We are here today to listen to someone in the program who has already done the work and has something to show for it. Okay, we talk about Amdari a lot. We talk about this program a lot. You've probably attended 5 of our sessions, 6 of our sessions, 10 of our sessions, right? But now it's the actual time you get to see all what we've been talking about. And you have my permission to ask him questions. You could ask him questions about the program since he's already in it. You could ask him questions about his project. He is gladly going to answer you. You could ask him anything like you're unsure about, right? Because Victory is not an intern. Victory is Victory, but author is in the internship program. So that's why we have these kinds of sessions, and I'm usually excited, right, about this session. So there are so many reasons you're getting overlooked, but Amdari can help you turn that situation around. And with time during this session, you're going to learn exactly how we do that. So if you're interested in data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, SOC analysis, ethical hacking, or GRC, Amdari is for you. Though today we are focusing on a special set of people, that's the cybersecurity professionals. And cybersecurity is literally one of those career paths that amazes me, to be very honest. Like I love listening to when cybersecurity analysts talk, because these guys are the OGs, right? They are doing a whole lot. Okay. So today is for you. Today is for, if you're interested in cybersecurity, you're going to learn a lot from today's session and you get to ask questions about it. So if you are into any of these career paths, just give me a thumbs up, or you can put it in the chat. DA if you're a data analyst, DS if you're a data scientist, DE, BA, whatever it is, just let me know in the chat. I want to see that we are all on the same page. So even if you're not among, don't worry, Amdari is still for you. You can ask me questions. Maybe you want to transition, you're having a hard time, whatever, you can still ask me questions. And also, do not forget to fill the attendance form in the chat. It is very important, okay, because you get to have access to the materials. My colleague is sharing that in the chat. So we have Lekon. Lekon is a cyber SOC analyst. Welcome to the session, Lekon. It's a pleasure to have you on here. I'll be expecting every other person to share. Tell me if you're a DA, if you're a DS, if you're a DE, whatever it is, just let me know so that we can all engage together. So, Arthur, are you ready for us? Just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready for us. Just let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Because it's almost time for you. Okay. So, okay, that's great. That's great. Wise, everybody is here with us. It's great. I love the energy we are all having here. All right. So we have another cybersecurity professional. We have Igbe. Okay. Welcome to the session. I'm waiting for the rest of you. I'm waiting for the rest of you. If you're a data analyst, don't be shy. I mean, it's for cybersecurity professionals, but you can go ahead and let me know what you are into or what you're trying to transition into. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a few more minutes. And also, you can go ahead, start setting up your I would allow you to do your presentation for the next 10-15 minutes. While us, then I'll go ahead and let every other person know how they can join you in the program to gain experience. Okay, so if you're excited to listen to him, just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you are excited as I am to listen to our intern showcase what he has for us to hear today. All right, that's great. That's great. That's great. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and we're going to give him chance to present what he has for us. Okay. All right, so I'm going to unpin myself. And Otto, let me know if you can unmute yourself or not, so I give you that permission. All right. Let me give you. Okay, so yeah, you can unmute yourself now. Try it, Otto.
All right.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arthur. Like Vicky has already mentioned. Just a few moments, please. I'm trying to open up the presentation that I have for tonight.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Adeni, it's not your time for questions, but you can drop it in the chat. I'm going to attend to you. So let's just give him a few minutes of listening ears, then we get to answer every other person's question. So for now, just drop it in the chat, then I would attend to that, right? Thank you.
Okay. Just for clarifications, can you see my screen, please?
Not yet, but it should be coming up. Not yet.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, are you able to see it now?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Arthur Waso. Originally from Nigeria, Delta State. Um, for background, I studied biochemistry, and when I completed my youth service in Nigeria, I was privileged to work in the law enforcement agency, and privileged also to be in the intelligence department of the agency where I worked. And so when I moved to the UK, it was something I found interesting to delve into cybersecurity. So first of all, I had to do a couple of courses to get myself abreast with cloud computing, and then I took the Google cybersecurity course on Coursera, which is self-paced. I'm told 10 Analytics is doing that right now, and I've got good reviews from them. So I did the one with Google, completed it, and then I sat for my CompTIA Security Plus exam. And upon completion of my exam, which was a success, I started applying to jobs, and I encountered what majority of us here may have encountered, which is why we are here in Amdari, the gap between training and real life experience of what you've studied, in your course. So um, I stumbled on Amdari adverts, and something drew me to them. There are many adverts on social media, but when I heard that these people are offering um, services to bridge that gap, give you the opportunity to work on live projects, the same kind of projects that you would face when you eventually get employed, and not just that, uh, you, you you get more confident, doing this thing. So when you go for interviews, you're not blabbing. You're just hitting the nail on the head. You know, before I joined Amdari, I have studied about Splunk. I've read about Splunk in the course of the 6 months program I did. But when I came into the program and I'm able to work with Splunk, not just a lab thing, like what you have with some of these training companies, they just run you through labs. It's not the same with what I'm experiencing here in Amdari. So I joined Amdari sometime last month. I joined the May cohort, and to be honest with you, it's been interesting. I have an amazing team lead coach. I call her Coach Jatu, and she's been doing an amazing work. Just before I came on to this meeting tonight, I was taking a training from her with other interns as well. But because I have a presentation with you people, I had to excuse myself just to do this. So tonight, I've been saddled with the opportunity to present the first projects I worked on in my cohort, which is the brute force attack on a remote access infrastructure. And for the purpose of confidentiality, I'm not going to be mentioning the name of the company that we worked on. There's a non-disclosure agreement that you get into when you are in cybersecurity. So there are certain information you don't disclose. So I'll be very careful to also be mindful of that in the course of the presentation. So there was a brute force attack on a company. Well, how did we get to know that? The IT department of the company suspected that an attack was going on. They captured logs from different points, endpoints, VPN servers, firewalls, and they collected these logs, about 120 of them, and they handed it over to us as static logs to analyze and be able to establish what kind of attack happened. What kind of attack happened? and um, who were involved, what level of compromise happened, who were compromised, and what can we recommend to mitigate the attack and restore the ensure the a good security posture for the company. So
Okay, also, could you
I'm
put it
just going
in
to run through.
slideshow so that we can see it clearly? Just put your presentation in slideshow so it's in presentation format, right? Um, yeah,
It's on
you'd see it
slides
up
in my
there,
own.
slideshow there, so it's clear, everyone can
uh,
see everything clearly.
is it okay
Okay,
now?
don't worry, just go ahead. It wasn't in slideshow. We're seeing your okay.
Okay.
Hi, Arthur. Navigate back to where you were before.
Okay.
Okay. Now, at the top side, up, where you get to see insert, draw, design, transition, slideshow, slideshow. No, no, no. Just watch the upside. You see draw, design, transition, animation, slideshow. Exactly. Click on
Okay.
slideshow. Now,
Yeah.
click from beginning. Select from beginning.
Is
From
that okay now?
beginning, up, up,
Okay.
up
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Then
Okay.
you can navigate left and right. Then you get to, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So, um, the company is an edtech platform with clients from around Europe. Um, Develops and secure scalable learning systems for enterprise level. Then environment has over 500 employees, and their user base is growing globally. And as you will know, because of the coverage, they cover clientele around Europe and other parts of the world. You will bet that they will rely heavily on VPN access. VPN enables users to connect with them on a private network. Secure private network, virtual private network is secure, encrypted network. So it's safe to connect to VPN. So they rely heavily on this infrastructure, and what we are analyzing tonight is an attack on that very infrastructure. So the business objective is to detect and mitigate brute force attacks targeting the VPN infrastructure, identify compromised accounts and malicious IP addresses, correlate logs from multiple systems for accurate attack reconstruction, execute response steps like IP blocking. So we're going to, as I run through my analysis, my presentation, you will find that there are certain IP addresses that I have flagged as malicious IP addresses. From the analysis I did, mind you, I omitted to tell you that the major tool I use is Splunk, and then I exported the files I analyzed in Splunk to Microsoft Excel, and then I was also able to run a few queries there just to confirm the things I've seen in Splunk. So the two tools I use, Splunk and Microsoft Excel. Okay, so the IP addresses that I eventually flagged, I at the end of the day, I had to recommend that those IP addresses be blocked from accessing the network. Okay, then credential reset, MFA enforcement. MFA is multi-factor authentication. Um, Instead of signing in to an account with just your password, what MFA provides for you is that you're able to sign in with other parameters, like something you have. Something you have is your password. Something you are, like your facial recognition, like your voice recognition, like your thumbprint, which is the most common one that majority of us use. And then something you have, which is your phone, In that situation, a code can be sent into your phone as an SMS, and then you enter that code just to authenticate, that you are actually the person trying to sign in. So you will see that MFA helps to mitigate against brute force attacks. Then deliver a formal report with root cause analysis and security recommendations. Okay, yeah, so like I said, Splunk and MSSL are the two tools I used. Now, 120 log entries were spotted from Splunk, and I analyzed them. Each log entry corresponds to a login attempt on the company's VPN server, the servers, and includes fields as I have outlined below. Number one, you have the username, which is the account being accessed, timestamp, the time linked to every event. The source IP is the IP address of the attacker, and the action is whether the login attempt is failed or successful. And then attempt count is the number of times the attacker tried to log in to a user account. Now, let me explain. A brute force attack is a trial and error effort or attempt by a criminal, a cyber criminal, to forcefully gain entry into a person's account. Let's say you work for company A and you have your profile, an account with that company A, and your password is whatever, and your username is whatever. Now, somebody who is trying to do a brute force attack on your account, what the person would do is to come and guess what your username is, guess what your password is. Now, these people have advanced to the extent that they have apps that help them to generate different combinations of passwords. Actually, they are common passwords. I won't be shocked that some of us or some of our friends or even some of our parents have passwords like 1234 or ABCD or their date of birth. So somebody could just know your email address, take that the first part of it, let's say AJ.Sorix, and the person says, I know this guy, he was born around 1990. Is it 91? So he tries on my password, he puts 1999 or 1991. He keeps trying these things to see if he'll be able to get entry into my account. As he's doing it, the network is capturing whatever he's doing, that this is an attempt to enter his account. So the first time he tries it, he doesn't enter, it's not successful, it's a failed attempt. The second time he tries, it's a failed attempt. He tries again, and then probably he gains entry with a different password. He's able to enter my account. He goes to another employee's account. He tries the same thing, he's able to enter. Then he goes to the fourth person, and on the first attempt, he's able to guess easily what the person's password is. Now, when you have consistent attempts to break into the accounts of certain people who work for a particular organization or entity, within that given time frame, is indicative of a brute force attack. So I'm just giving that as a background so that you understand that what we are looking at is, can we establish from the analysis that there's a pattern of attack is such that there's an attempt to break into people's accounts by a particular individual or a group of individuals who are working in concert. So that's it. So the fields that I've captured are the username, the timestamp, like I've explained, the source IP, which is the IP address of the attacker. This is very important. The action, whether the login attempt is failed or successful, the attempt count, the number of times the attacker tried to log in to a user account. Good. We'll run. Project walkthrough. Now, analysis from the log avail the following details. From the analysis I conducted, I could tell that the attack commenced at 23:05 hours on 28th of April 2025. And this is evidenced by a successful login on this user's account, Gina Melton's account, by a malicious IP address. This is the IP address 185.220.102.0. This is the first attempt by a malicious IP address. How did I establish that this is a malicious IP address? I hope I'm able to exceed I wanted to. Okay, I would have just shown you from Splunk what I did. What I did was basically to highlight all the IP addresses that are in the log, all the IP addresses, and then I'm able to query on Splunk which IP addresses had the different counts of the IP address. I think one of my slides captured it. Yes, you can see from here. Yes, this is from here now. You can see this particular IP address had 18 attempts. Remember from the former slide, I was able to say that the number of attempts, the attempt count, is the number of times that particular attacker tried to either gain entry successfully or he failed at doing that. So this particular IP address here tried 18 times. This particular one tried 17 times. And because I have worked on this over time, I can tell you that out of these 18 times that this particular IP address tried, 10 of those times were successful, 8 of them were failed. And this very one, out of the 17 times, 10 were successful, 7 were failed attempts. So you could see that these IP addresses, as highlighted here, were malicious IP addresses trying to break into people's accounts, not just one individual's account, no, many people's account within a given time frame. So on this part, I have captured from Excel. This is, you could see that this is the successful attempts, the attempts that were successful, and this is the VPN servers that the attack went through. This is server 2, this is server 3, this is server 1. These are the IP addresses. You know, this is the time, this is the date, this is the username, the person that they successfully gain entry into their account. All right, so I'll just go back. Now, the attack commenced at this time, like I've stated, by a successful login on this user's account. Now, it was followed by another successful login by the same IP address to Melissa Jones' account at this very time, about 33 minutes interval. Both attacks were across servers 1 and 4, respectively. Now, the same IP address had a total of 17 login attempts, with 10 being successful and 7 failed. Given that the attack began with a successful login to Gina Melton's account, it is most likely an insider attack. Now, why did I say it's an insider attack? I come to a company, let's say I'm an outsider, I come to a company, and the first time I'm doing a brute force attack is a successful attack. That's a red flag. It means that this person is an insider. Gina Melton is most likely a culprit here. Gina Melton, a culprit. So she signed into her account at an ungodly hour. This is an out of business time. And then she began to launch attack, on other accounts. So she made a successful login, and another likely insider threat was from IP address. I also was able to flag that this person here, this IP address was also a malicious IP. And why I said is also a likely insider attack on this person, this very man, Andre Young's account, was because on that same day, just a few minutes after the first login, after the first login on General Mess's account, this other IP now also logged into Young's account and had a total of 18 attempts in the course of this whole attack. 18 attempts, 10 of them were successful logins. Nathan Villary and Wesley Love were also they were also successfully compromised by the IP address that I just mentioned. Now that's Andre Young, who is a suspected culprit here. After several attempts, he was on other users. He was able to log into these two people's accounts. A series of repeated failed login attempts were observed also from IP address range this range, IP address range 185.220.100.0 to 106. So it's from IP address range 100 to 106. Now you see it captures 101, 102, 103, 104. It captures all of them. You can see them here: 100, 102, 104, 103, 106, even 101, 105 is here. So it captures that whole range from 101, from 100 to 106. Now, but you can see that there are also other malicious IP addresses that are not within that range. But I'm saying that there are a series of repeated failed login attempts from these IP ranges. Now the attacker targeted multiple user accounts within a short time frame, and this is a pattern suggestive of a brute force attack. The login attempts commenced after business hours, indicative of an automated attack method. Now, these are my indicators of compromise. And the indicators of compromise refer to things that you will see that are pointers to the fact that an attack is going on, or something phishing is going on. Something phishing is going on. So now this is from the following IP addresses, usernames, and servers were flagged during the analysis. This is the first malicious IP address. This is the second one. These are the ones I flagged. And then you can see I mentioned Jonah Nelson here, Melissa Jones, Keck Powell. These compromised them. Sorry, this compromised them. Sorry, okay. These compromised usernames. Now I also highlighted the servers that are under attack. Good. Now, what were my recommendations? I haven't gotten these details. What recommendations do I have for this company? Now, the following actions we recommend to mitigate this attack. First of all, block all the flagged IP addresses at the firewall and VPN gateway levels. Now, what you do here is you go to the firewall setting and you're able to say for inbound traffic, you're able to say you put in the source IP address, for example, 185.220.100.0. You say deny, the action should be deny, and you now apply that rule. When you put up that firewall rule, each time that particular IP address tries to access that network, because a firewall rule has been established, it will be blocked. It will not be allowed to gain entrance into that network. So it cannot succeed to launch an attack on that network. So, but you remember that I said that particular IP range made them IP range 185.220.100 to the 106 extension. They made repeated login attempts. So that range of about 7 IP addresses must be blocked at the firewall and VPN gateway levels. Good. Then implement policy for account lockout after 3 failed attempts. Now, you may have encountered this, that sometimes, even if you use an iPhone, you discover that when you enter the wrong password a couple of times, what happens is that your phone tells you cannot log in until after 2 minutes. Depending on the level of error or omission you made in entering your password, it can tell you cannot log in until the next 6 minutes, 10 minutes. Now, in this case, I am saying implement a policy for account lockout after 3 failed attempts. So when the attacker fails to impute the correct details 3 times, that account should be locked out. It should not be allowed to log in, no matter whether you enter the right password or not. So, and I said the account should remain locked until manually unlocked by an administrator. So that account should remain locked until an administrator is contacted, by the let's say by the employee, the right employee now, who comes to work to log into her account, and she's seeing that my account is locked. What happened? Until she contacts an administrator, and administrator will investigate and see, you made an attempt or an attempt was made to log into your account severally, but at odd hours. What happened? So until that is resolved and an administrator unlocks that account manually, that policy should remain. However, I put a caveat that this should be reviewed in the event that the lockout results in a denial of service. Now, a denial of service attack is such that not the distributed denial of service, denial of service attack, for example, and all these attackers can be they are criminal minded, they can be very crafty. They can try to say, okay, I just want to I just want to spoil business for this company. I know that they have a policy in place that after three attempts, the account will be locked. So what we are going to do is to make sure that all their employees and customers are not able to log in. So they will now begin to do this trial and error on all the accounts they can find. They don't want to log in. They don't want to put in the right passwords. They just want to put in different, error, just to make sure that their accounts are locked in, so that the rightful people who want to now access their accounts cannot access it. So they over labor the administrator, who will have to manually unlock the accounts. I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make. So I'm saying that this should be watched, this should be reviewed in the event that the lockout results in a denial of service attack. Okay. Now, implement strong password policy and multi-factor authentication for all remote users. I'm saying that for all our remote users, they should have strong password policy. What strong password policy means is that at least you have up to 12 to 14 characters in your password. There should be uppercase, at least one uppercase, you have lowercase, you have special characters, and all that. So you introduce that, a lengthy password, different characters in the password. It makes it difficult for them to be able to guess and have a successful login into an attack. And I'm also saying, in addition to the strong password, the password is not enough. In addition to the strong password, let multi-factor authentication, which I've already explained at the beginning of my presentation, be introduced, whereby the person needs to impute either his fingerprint or do facial recognition, voice recognition, or have a code sent to their phone, for them to be able to authenticate that, yes, I'm the one trying to log in into my account. Now, initiate quarterly campaigns for all staff on phishing and password policy education. Now, this is to say that every employee should be able to have the privilege of, having their knowledge renewed about different attempts, phishing attempts by these criminals to either steal their credentials or to successfully gain entrance into their accounts. Now, ensure that least privilege policy is in place to curtail access to resources in case of future incidents. Now, what this means is if least privilege is a very critical principle in cybersecurity. What least privilege does is this. If you go to some 5-star hotels or big hotels, you will notice that when they check you in at the reception, they give you a card, a key card, and they tell you it's for your floor and a VIP lounge on the 3rd floor. Let's say your floor is 2nd floor and 3rd floor. That your key can serve you on the elevator on your floor, and then that VIP. You cannot use that key on the 4th floor. You cannot use it on the 5th floor. You cannot use it elsewhere. Why? Because the least privilege has been introduced into that card security. What it means is that, again, is, for example, I am working in admin and human resources. I should only be authorized to view files in admin and human resources to the extent that it concerns my main responsibility in that department. So I cannot, even if I am a level 12 officer, for example, the way we talk in Nigeria, you're a level 12 officer, I cannot access a file of somebody who works in finance and accounts, even if the person is in level 2. Because least privilege makes sure that I am allowed to access just what my responsibility covers in that organization. So if, for example, I am careless and a criminal is able to log into my account, the only thing that can be compromised is the only thing that I am accessible to. So he cannot access finance, he cannot access logistics, he can only access my major. In fact, he cannot even access other roles, other things that other people in human resources are able to do. It's just mine. That's least privilege for you. Good. Now, I also recommended that the human resources should investigate the insider threats due to GDPR compliance risk it poses. Now, why am I bringing GDPR compliance here? In the beginning, I read that the clients of this company are based in Europe. Now, in Europe, GDPR says if anybody who is resident in Europe or a European citizen was working for you, this policy applies. You must do data governance. You must ensure that their data are protected. So, because these insider threats, this Gina Melton and the other man I mentioned, both because two of them pose a risk such that they can give access to their cohorts to be able to access files. For example, assuming that Gina Melton works in HR and is the person keeping, or let's say he works in accounts and he has access to bank details of staff. Are you seeing the problem that creates? The problem it creates is that the personal identification details of employees are going to be exposed to these criminals. So they have their bank details, they have the bank sort code, they have the bank accounts, they have the pins and all that. They have the card details. That's crazy. That's a big problem, which can attract a lot of fines on the company, because there are agencies that regulate all these things, and they can find that company. In fact, they will certainly find the company if that kind of data breach is carried out. The company will also suffer reputational damage, and so on and so forth. So I also said that they should configure Splunk alerts for unusual login behavior, including geolocation anomalies and rapid failure patterns. By conclusion, I've said that Splunk was effectively used for the analysis, and the inference from the analysis is that this company was subjected to a brute force attack carried out by a likely insider threat. I'm mentioning Gina Melton again, and her cohorts, which primarily targeted VPN access points. This inference is based on login sequence and IP history, source IP history. At least 10 accounts. Yeah, I wrote 9 here, is an error. 10 accounts, if I include Gina Melton, is 10 accounts, we are compromised. The recommended action in this report will prevent further incidents, strengthen the company's remote access security posture, and then ensure timely implementation. And I mean, timely implementation will reduce exposure to scripted attacks of this nature. This analysis highlights the importance of the implementation of multi-factor authentication and strong password policy. And I'm sure you will agree with me on that. Thank you for listening. This is the end of the presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that presentation. But before you exit your screen, you wanted to show them the Splunk analysis you did. You can as well just take like a few minutes to show them that practical aspect. You were still taking the presentation, so you couldn't show that anymore. Do you still want to go ahead and show that?
Yeah, that's fine. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yeah, sure. We're seeing your screen.
Okay. Are you seeing this Splunk? Are you seeing what I'm doing?
Yeah, but it's
not
blurred. Really visible. It's blurred. Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Not really, but it's like it's blurred. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way because of security reasons.
I think
or
it's
something.
because the Google Meet is on top of the screen. Is superimposed on the Splunk. Anyway, yeah. But what I did basically, these are the logs, and what I did basically is to go to source IP, which is the attacker's IP address, and I can't click on this.
I think you should open the Google Meet in another tab itself, like remove it from the tab you're showcasing. Open Google Meet in a different tab.
Okay.
Yeah. Just remove the Google Meet tab away from every other part. Yeah. Just drag. Okay, that's the fine.
Can you still see my screen now?
Yeah, we're seeing it. So
But it's still
yeah,
dull, isn't it?
just go,
Okay,
just go
so
ahead.
yeah, this is it. And it's not selecting. I don't know. Something is actually wrong because I can't even
Okay.
select the IP addresses I'm working on.
All right,
Okay.
just go ahead. I think you have a question in the chat too, but when you're done, we'll look at that question together.
Okay. So these are the logs. You could see the IP addresses here. I'm trying to navigate to this, but I don't know why it's not selecting because this is where I have my source IP and this is where I have my attend camps. When I click on this source IP, it takes me to all the IP addresses, which is where I got which was where I got all these malicious IP addresses that I have here. Is also where I got this particular table from. I don't know why I'm not able to navigate to that, and I apologize for that. So, but that's basically
Yeah,
it. I would like to see what the question on the group is.
yeah, please check that. Yeah.
There are many ways to analyze IP addresses to find out if it's malicious or not. You could use Sentinel. You could use there are a lot of apps, but what we use for this project is Splunk. I also know that you could also, if you have the hash of a particular file, you could actually use VirusTotal to run that hash and be able to find out if it's been flagged as a malicious IP in Splunk's database. I hope that helps. Prince.
All right. Does any other person have another question? If you have a question, you can still go ahead, raise your hand, and he's going to attend to that. Maybe you've been wondering how the internship works, how he's been learning. You want to ask him questions. This is the time to do so. So you're hearing directly from someone already in the program, right? So if you have those questions, go ahead. Can either drop it in the chat or you raise your hand and go ahead ask your question. So Otto, you can actually stop sharing so that I go ahead and share.
Okay.
Okay, that was actually a very interesting one. Thank you so much for your presentation. I don't know, you guys are not asking questions because me, I have questions actually. So Otto, how long did it take you guys to work on this project?
Was within 2 weeks.
Okay, so what was the step-by-step process like with your team? Like, just give us a very short overview of how everything happened, how you were working with your team, and all of that.
Okay, so basically, we have days of the week that we choose as our days for meeting. That for me was Monday and Friday, yes, and we had particular times on those days that we meet for project briefing. Our coach, I call her coach, like I said, she gave us a briefing on the project and walked us through it. She was able to share the screen like I shared my screen now, and she showed us what she needed to be done. She needed us to do on Splunk, and then um, we asked questions. Each of the step that was difficult or that was confusing, we asked questions, and it was on Google Meet Meet like this, and it was a recorded session. So even if you were not in attendance, you're able to go through the video and go through the recording and learn from it for yourself. And then if you have questions, you can now come up with that and ask her the question. Now we're also allowed to ask each other question as interns. Just today I've been able to chat up two different interns, asking them for clarifications on the project we're currently working on, because at the moment it's still not very clear to me. So I want to finish chatting with them, getting some clarifications from them before I take it up to coach. You have to meet pastor to take your prayers to Jesus before you go to God the Father. So that's the step I'm following anyway. So That's it. Is smooth. It's if it's assuming it's an app, I would have said it's user friendly, you know. But it's the experience has been good. For some of us who there are some of us who live in the US, some are living in Canada, some are in Nigeria, some are here in the UK, and you know we are in different time zones and we work at different times. Some of us work at night, you know, so there's no convenient time for everybody. That's why we have those days of the week where we selected to have our classes, and we also have recordings. So if you don't meet up, you can always listen to the recordings.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. You seem to be enjoying yourself in the program. Okay.
Yeah, it's been good.
We have a few more questions. Someone says, which which do you use when you want? I don't really understand this question. Prince, you might want to rewrite that question. It's not really clear. Lekon said, is the internship for those already with background knowledge or a mix? Okay, so if you have foundational knowledge, right, it's for you. You will be able to cope in the program. Trust me, your coach is really going to guide you, but you need to have done maybe a training, or you've had like a little bit of foundation, so that when they are showing you this stuff, you'll be able to catch up and you won't feel left behind. So if you've not learned at all, it's going to be hard for you to really pick up fast, right? So having foundational knowledge is also going to help. Okay, so what tools? Okay, we have a lot of questions here. I just completed my cybersecurity training since last year, December, so hard to get an internship. Trust me, it's hard to get an internship. Some internships will expect you to have at least 1 year of experience, which to me doesn't make any sense, because the internship is supposed to give you experience. That's why Amdari came up with this. Come learn with us, make these mistakes, correct yourself, and gain the experience working on this project. You're working in teams, just like Author mentioned, and you're working on projects that are going to really expand your knowledge. Far from the theory, you're learning practically. That's what it's all about. What tools will be available for the internship? So this is Author said he started last month. So this is literally, I think this is their first project they just finished, and he's currently on the next one. So Author, for your next project, what tools are you using for that project? The one you guys are
Okay.
currently working on?
Yeah, we're using Virus Total, we're using the VirtualBox, we're using Kali Linus, and there's a whole lot from what we've been told. You see, when you're applying for jobs, you will see the job description and you will see the technical skills that are required. I can assure you that most of the things I've seen on that particular part of the job vacancy is we've touched on a couple of them, you know, and it makes me happy because it now means that when I'm applying, there will be less imposter syndrome. You
Yes,
know, if
the
I have to borrow the
confidence.
word of Femina, you know, it's less because I'm more confident now that, oh, these things that they want, I not only have the theoretical knowledge of it, I have worked with this particular tool. So yeah.
It's just like having expo for exams. You've seen the past questions.
Exactly. Prince,
Exactly.
you can use any operating system. It depends on what you are working. It depends on the one you have. Whatever you have, most of these softwares, they have the one that is adaptable to your own operating system. So don't be bothered about whatever operating system that you are using. Whatever you are using, these softwares have been designed in such a way that they can work on this operating system. They can work on this other one. Whichever one you're using is good. Just bring your system and let's get to work.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Otto. It's been very enlightening, honestly. I don't know if we have any other questions, because I need to share with you guys how you can also get in, how you can get started and join in the program. So if you have any questions, this is your chance to ask Otto, because I would go ahead and he would, you know, if you have any questions for him, any more questions, this is your chance. Ask your questions before I go ahead. We're just going to give it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 minutes, 1, 2, 3 minutes. All right. So basically, Amdari gives you real world experience. You've heard everything from him. He's in the program. I am not, right? And it's really nice to hear directly from people in the program when they tell us, oh, I've been able to gain this experience, I've been able to learn this, I've been able to learn that. It is very, very exciting to hear all of these things. So there would be, you're working on real projects, right? You get to work on at least 6 to 10 of these projects, depending on how long you're spending. So Arthur, are you in the 3 months or the 6 months work experience?
I'm now in the accelerator group, so
okay,
it's
that's
been
great.
extended. Yeah.
All right, congratulations. Okay, so some projects might require you to work in cross-functional teams. This is outside of cybersecurity. You might be a data analyst and you're required to work with another professional, maybe a project manager or a business analyst. All of this is to give you experience, because if you look at job descriptions, they ask for requirements beyond technical skills, right? That's why training alone is not enough. You need to be able to work in a cross-functional team. You need to be able to communicate with stakeholders. You need to be able to present. You need to know your soft skills, and you also need to have business acumen. These are things that would make you to stand out compared to other candidates that are also looking for the same role as you, okay? And you're working across multiple tech stacks. And the best part about this is that the technology you're working with, those are industry standard technologies. We don't take you back in the ages. We're not taking you back in time. We are exposing you to tech stacks that are current, tech stacks that recruiters want you to have in any of these career paths. So we call it industry standard tools, okay? So you'll be working with those kind of tools. And for each project, I'm sure that, Arthur, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have like a tool training session where your team lead or your coach takes you through the tool first before you start implementing on your project, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You also, aside her demonstrations, you also sent links on YouTube to go and watch and see how it is actually done over and over again.
Exactly. So that means you're learning, okay? So if you have that foundational knowledge, you can always gain more knowledge and learn within the program. It's like learning on the job. I mean, picture this kind of scenario where you're already employed and, for example, they are no more using a particular database and they are exposing you to a new database you've never worked with before. You have to go and learn it. You wouldn't quit your job because you've not, this is a tool that you've not used before. You have to go watch these videos and adapt, right? So Amdari gives you that opportunity to learn how to be adaptable, because we expose you to different tech stacks. You need to learn how to learn fast, right? When we show you these videos, you go watch it, use it to practice on this video. As you're watching, you're learning. As you're learning, you're doing. You're not just amassing knowledge in your head without practical experience, right? So yes, someone says these tools require access. Does the internship offer? Okay, does the internship offer? Let me look at that question well. All right, so okay, does the internship offer free access to them, especially CM tools like Splunk? Okay, I think we're going to allow Arthur to answer that question. So with the access, how did it go for you and your team? How did you guys navigate all of that?
If you're accessing the app or the software for enterprise purpose, you have to pay for it. But if you're just accessing it for basic use, you don't have to pay for it. So we are guided on what to do for each of the tools that we have used. Like you said, Splunk is a SIM tool, and I didn't have to pay a dime to be able to use it to do the analysis I did. Same as VirusTotal, and though there's limitation. For example, for VirusTotal, there's a limitation on the number of times you can use it in a week, and of which it's is enough to cover whatever project you are doing within that week. So what I'm saying is that for the one you pay for, it's usually for enterprise level, but for the purpose of analysis and the work we're doing, the projects we are doing, what we assess is enough for us to be able to carry out the project.
All right, thank you so much. So in case of any confusion, you have your coach that is always there to show you how to do this stuff, to support you, okay? Now, all of this is just to give you confidence, because if you've not worked on a real project before and you're trying to transition into tech, you're trying to land a job, The honest truth about it is that you're still going to have a bit of imposter syndrome, right? Because you've not done this thing before. You still feel, am I good enough, right? We take away that whole feeling of, am I good enough? Because by the time you work on 4, 5 projects, it becomes a normal thing for you, right? And you have people you're learning with. This means that you can always reach out to someone else. Oh, I don't understand this part. Could you explain it for me? Or could you let me see what you've done? Let's work on this together. You're working in teams, you're learning from other people. That's what experience is about. It's not just focused on the technical aspects. You are also focused on building your soft skills, your business acumen, and all of that. Okay, that's the confidence we give you. And there's something Otto also mentioned. He said that the whole different time zones thing, people are working at different times because of their availability. We have people in Canada still in the same internship program. We have guys in the UK. All of them are in one space, one program. So this means you are exposing yourself to networking opportunities. You can talk to people. I mean, you are networking with guys that you might never meet. You don't know where your next opportunity is going to come from. That's why Amdari provides you with this kind of environment, and it is a low risk environment. What does that mean? If you make a mistake, it's not going to affect one major organization somewhere. They are not going to sack you like, oh no, you cost us so many resources, or you did this, and because of that our business is going down. No, if you make a mistake, you will get your correction. You are going to get you're going to learn, you're going to receive appropriate feedback, and you implement it as soon as you can. So that's the kind of low risk environment we provide for you to learn. And we also make you employable, revamping your CV. So right from your second month when you're in the program, we have CV revamp sessions, right? The employability specialist is going to revamp your CV and also review your CV. They would ensure that your projects are on your CV, the key metrics, your CV is well structured, and you start applying to these jobs from your second month. You have to be applying to jobs. Okay, we also optimize your LinkedIn. The reason we optimize your LinkedIn is because you are showcasing. Okay, okay. Also, you can always, there are questions in the chat, right? So the ones you feel it's for you, just chat or type, answer those questions while I go ahead and every other person is listening. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so LinkedIn optimization, very important, because you need to showcase your expertise. You need your LinkedIn to reflect you as an actual professional. That's why we optimize your LinkedIn. You have access to mentorship sessions where you are talking to experts in the field, people with advanced knowledge, people that have had at least 6 years of experience. You're learning from them. Amdari gives you access to them. If you were to access these guys on your own, you'd probably be paying for mentorship fee. And trust me, it's not cheap. These people have experience and they do not have time, right? But Amdari settles all of that, and we give you access to them. So you do not need to, you don't need to make any extra payments for that. You don't need to start wasting time looking for an intern. Okay. Now, looking for a coach rather, or a mentor. The same thing goes for career coaching. You heard him talk about his coach. She's really great at her stuff, trust me, and she knows how to explain, carry you along in such a way that you do not feel left out, because she is an actual professional. We prep you for interviews so that you would have confidence to sell yourself during interview sessions. You are able to answer these questions, right? And all of this happens within the program. You do not need to wait until the end of the program to start having access to interview prep sessions, or to start having access to CV revamp sessions and all of that. It's while you're in the program that you're going to be having all of these access. Job reference letter. Amdari is registered in the UK. Amdari is also registered in Canada. So if you're trying to get UK work experience, you're trying to transition into tech, maybe you're trying to transition into the tech space in the UK, you understand that you understand that actual experience is what they need. They need you to have experience. And the worst part, or the best part about it, is that they want you to have experience in a company based in the UK. And Amdari does that for you. If you need a reference letter, we are always there to provide this for you. You can always use us for reference. You can reach out to us for reference up until 2 years after you're done with the internship experience. Okay. Even on the job support, you land a job, you still need assistance, we provide you with on the job support. So basically, Otto has already explained how this whole program works, right from when project is assigned to you, you're working with your team, and you would have a tool training session where your coach takes you through a particular tool, how to install it, how to use it to solve your business problems, and you go over some YouTube videos learning how to use these tools too. All of this is within the program, right? And we have a structure for how everything should go in terms of the like how programs are structured, the month, weekly, what are you supposed to do this week, where are we supposed to be at by this time. You have your you have your drop-in sessions, right? Drop-in sessions where you meet with your team. It could be twice in a week. Like Arthur said, his is on Monday and Friday. So you get to meet with your team lead and you're talking about the project. Okay, where are we? What are we doing next? What's the next step and all of that? After every project, you present your solutions in like with your team. You're doing a team presentation. This is really going to help you to build that confidence, because even when you get hired, you have to do presentations. You have to communicate this technical know-how to a non-technical audience. I'm not in cybersecurity, but I could understand what Arthur was talking about because he was able to relate it in layman understanding. Okay, so that's the kind of skill you need, because most times stakeholders won't even be technical people, and you should be able to communicate your findings to them. That's the thing, because that's the only way they can make use of your recommendations, when they understand. Okay, so Prince, you are going to be gaining something new. That's just it, because these projects are going to be, they're not open source projects, right? You're learning something new, and you're even learning as an actual experience. You're not just learning by yourself as if you're working on personal projects. You're learning it like you are an actual cybersecurity professional. Okay. All right. So okay. So I think I missed something. Yes, you're going to have this on your CV that you worked with Amdari as a consultant, right? So Other is a SOC analyst consultant, and you can work with us as a business analyst consultant, data analyst consultant, and all of that. Okay. So it is very important that you gain experience if you're trying to transition. That is literally the fastest way to do it. And I mentioned about the work reference letter. You use this experience during interviews too to sell yourself. Okay. So we've had some of our interns that have actually landed jobs. Yes. We don't guarantee that we are giving you jobs. We are not saying we give you jobs, but the way we prep you is to make you job ready. That's the essence. When we created Amdari, the idea was we want you guys to be job ready. We want a situation where you're done with the program, you go out there and you feel confident when you're applying, because most of us on the description, you've done it. And if a recruiter asks you something, you could always say, you could answer that question based on experience that you've gained. That is the idea for us. That's what we are trying to do for you. So that's the kind of confidence you would need in interviews when you're selling yourself. And when you're able to convince the recruiter that you are good at your stuff, that is when you have that's when you can land the job, basically. Okay. So this is just one of our interns letting us know that he has gotten the job. Another major feedback that we usually get from our interns is the fact that the way they entered is different from how they become after 2 months, after 3 months. There's always a very big difference in terms of confidence level, in terms of knowledge level, in terms of technical capabilities. There is always a difference. And these guys are always very grateful to us because they've learned so much. They've learned so much in the program already, right? So I would be playing a few videos, so you would also see all of that, but not right now because we've already taken some of this time, right? So we have our next cohort starting. If this looks like something that you are interested in, or you feel like you would want to explore and really, gain more understanding about it, just give me a thumbs up. If you are already interested in what Amdari is offering, right? Just give me a thumbs up. I want to see those thumbs. I see your questions. I'll answer all your questions. Oh, Prince, that's interesting. Great. Peter, that's really nice. Okay. So I'm going to attend to all the questions soon. Okay. So we have our next course starting on the 5th of July if you're looking to join us. And here is what it looks like in terms of numeration in terms of the pricing for all of these. Okay. All what I need is hand projects. Trust me, you're going to get all of that. Honestly, you are going to get all of that. So we have the 3 months and we have the 6 months work experience internship. So you could come work with us, learn these projects, gain hands-on experience for either 3 months or 6 months. The only people that usually would go for the 3 months, maybe you just want to test the program and you're like, okay, I have 3 months, I just want to really understand what you guys do, if it's something I want to spend more time in. For 6 months, you get a more immersive experience. You get to work on at least 8 to 9 different projects across different industries, and we make sure that these projects we are giving to you they have actual business context. They are projects that mimic actual business problems, not cargo projects, not open source projects. And these are across multiple industries. You could work on a project in logistics and supply chain. You could work on one in the e-commerce industry. You could work on another one in all these different industries, so that when you're applying, you're not limiting yourself to one specific industry because of the experience that you've probably had. Now, we are currently running a discount if you want to get into this program. So we have 3 months, 6 months. If you're going for the 3 months, you can go with the discounted amount instead of the actual amount, which is £390 if you're in the UK. It also has its dollar equivalent. If you're making payments, you're going to be able to see that. Okay, so we have £390 for the 3 months, and for the 6 months, instead of you making a payment of £900, which is the actual amount, you are paying the discounted amount of £750 for the program, right? We also understand that some of you, like you have your different reasons you want to use money for. You may not be able to make a one-time payment of £390. What Amdari has done for you is that we've put in place an installment plan if you're trying to gain this experience, right? So you want to get started, you want to lock in your slots before everything, before we all get started, right? You want to lock in your slots before the prices go back to the original price. For the 3 months, you can start with £130, okay? You spread your £390 across 3 major installments, 130, 130, 130. So you lock in your discount with £130. That's this month. Next month, you follow it up with another 130, and you finish up your payment of £390 the last month. That way, you're already gaining your experience. You do not need to wait until you have everything all together to start. You start from the installments, right? The same thing goes for the 6 months. We have a 5 installment plan for the 6 months. So you can do 150, 150, 155 times, right? So if you started with month 1, you've paid your installment of 130, and you're like, I mean, this thing is not something I want anymore. Amdari is not forcing you, right? But the internship is going to tell it on itself, right? We have people that started with 3 months and they're telling us that, oh, I want to extend. That's how it is basically. So you could start with the 3 months and later feel like, oh, I want to extend my internship experience. You can go ahead and extend it. So at this point, I'm going to be taking questions. I know some of these questions have already been answered, but I would still love to listen to a couple of other people that you want to ask a question and all of that. You can go ahead. I'm also going to be dropping the link in the chat. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and secure your slots ahead of the July cohort, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, that is going to be in the chat. But before I show you guys any other thing, because we have extra perks for interns, you have access to a job portfolio website, you have access to a project portfolio website. I saw someone in the chat saying he has projects. We provide you with a free website where you get to showcase either the project you've worked on Amdari or your external project. It's on that website. You can showcase it all within the program. No extra payments. Everything is covered by Amdari in your one-off payment, your one-time payment. If you're paying $390, even if you're doing it in installments, you have access to all of these resources, okay? And if you were to go ahead, hire someone to optimize your website or create a portfolio website for you, it's going to cost a lot. If you're looking for coaching, it costs you money. If you're looking for mentorship, it costs you. These are different individual aspects that would necessarily cost you money. But we decided to put all of this together in a package for you. Come learn with us, gain this experience, and become job ready. at a very affordable rate. Okay, that's literally it. That's Amdari for you. We just want you, we want to be able to offer this help to as many people, because our founders have, like, they should I say, they found out the secret weapon, right? You just need experience. That's all you need, experience. Okay, so I'm going to be taking questions. We have Prince, we have Priska. I've seen your hands up. If any other person wants to ask questions, this is your chance. Go ahead and raise your hand. So I'm going to be starting with Prince. I think Prince had his hand first up. So you can go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Ask away, ask away. Go ahead. Hello, Prince. You can go ahead and ask your question. Okay, Prince, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay.
There's a lot of feedback. Okay. All right. Could you try speaking again? I don't know what that was, but try speaking again.
Hello?
Okay, all right. You know what? There's so much feedback coming from your end. So I think you should use the chat, because I cannot, there's a feedback coming from your end that is really unpleasant, basically. So try using the chat, or you try rejoining. So I'm just going to mute you for now. All right, I think we had another hand raised. That's Priscilla, if I saw that. Go ahead, just unmute yourself and ask your question. Prince, there's so much feedback coming from you. I can't hear anything, basically. So Priscilla, you had your hands raised. Please go ahead and ask. Okay, hi. Okay, Priska, I'm so sorry. I thought I saw Priscilla. Sorry about that, Priska. Yeah, go ahead.
Just for clarity, when is the next cohort?
Okay, the next cohort starts on the 5th of July, and we are going to be starting with a prep program for you. So here is how it works, right? We understand that a lot of people, maybe you already did this training, but it's been a while since you did your training, and you might not even remember everything. For us, we expect you to have foundational knowledge, but that doesn't mean that maybe you've forgotten one or two things. So we've now implemented something whereby we give you a soft landing, right? So the beginning part, we are just refreshing your memory. We start with the first phase of it is to refresh your memory, take you through things that you would have probably known before, just give you that soft landing, so that when we start giving you, you start working on actual projects, like the real deal, then you really have a taste of the program, right? So we're starting on the 5th of July with this our next cohort, rather. That's when you start, and from there you go ahead with the program. Priska.
So is the training, the prep training in July, included in the 3 months internship?
No, it's not. That's like, that's for people that sign up early. Actually, you're only the people that sign up early get access to that, right? So it's like an extra, it's extra from Amdari. We prep you first, then
So when is the main internship starting?
It starts on the 5th of July, actually, right? But we're not your projects. When we give you the real project, it's not from that time. We have to make sure that you are ready for these projects first, right? So the program starts on the 5th of July, basically. But that first phase is like an additional phase Amdari is giving to you to just make sure that you are ready, and that the duration of that prep is a month. Okay, it's 1 month. Yes, it's like an extra 1 month. It's like an extra 1 month. So basically, if you're going for the 3 months, you're getting 4. If you're going for the 6 months, you're getting 7. That's what it is, basically. And it is actually limited to just people that decide to start, to enroll early, rather. We have a specific number of people that can do that, right? So there are people that would later, maybe they may not even have access to it because they are among the late enrollments and all of that. That is just what it is, basically.
So if you decide to pay with the installment plan and then you make your first installment, what happens after the first installment?
When you make your first installment, we now give you, okay, when you make your first installments, you get access to the Amdari job board, the portfolio website, and also you between now and then, once we start in July, you're already starting the program, right? You start with your prep sessions. Okay, you start with your prep sessions. That's when you start. So next month you follow up another payment. Once you finalize your payment, you're paying only 3 installments if you're going for the 3 months installment plan. It's just 3 installments, and once you're done with that, you just continue the program. You don't need to make any extra payments
Because
again.
the reason why
Okay?
I'm asking is we had a section with is he Mario, one of your
Femena,
founder, Emena,
Femena.
yeah, the last section with
Yeah.
Emena. So I made an installment payment, and after that, nobody have reached out to me. Oh, okay, well, let's add it to this group or that group. I've not gotten any form of like guidance on what next. That's why I'm asking that question. What happens after your first installment? Because I was like, oh, there was supposed to be like a group where people that have paid are supposed to be there, and then getting ready for the preparation in July.
Yeah, the thing here is that when it is close to that time, we usually send out onboarding kits. Okay, so we would send out your onboarding kits by, it's going to be towards the ending of this month. You would receive your onboarding kit, you would get access to the group chats, and you would start you would just basically get like a head start with what is going to happen. Okay, so it's not like we've forgotten about you, but since you've mentioned that, basically when you've made your first installment, you just rest and wait for us to start. You could be taking a few videos. You don't even need to be taking any crash courses anymore, because you would come and prep with us. You don't need to be prepping for the program. You just need to wait till the start date, right? By that time, we'd send out your onboarding message, you join the group chat, and we kickstart your prep. Okay, so that's literally how it works. We are not blindsiding you. Basically, it's just that you are still on the wait list and you have access to this extra job prep I'm talking about. Okay, sorry, prep session I'm talking about. So it's not like you're not missing out on anything yet, basically.
All right, no,
What
that would be
course-
all for
what
now.
did you sign up for?
SOC analysis and threat intelligence.
Okay, great. So you're in the right session then. All right. Do you have any other questions?
No, that will be all for now. Thank you,
All
Victor.
right. Yeah, sure. Welcome on board, actually. Welcome. Who else? All right. So we have a few other questions. I think I saw another question. You can go ahead and raise your hand. What's the duration of the prep? That means the starting date would not be feasible for 5th of July. No, the starting date is the 5th of July, actually. So if you're taking advantage of these discounts to start, then you're going to have access to it at that rate. But once we go back to the actual pricing structure, then you have to pay the full amount, which is £500 for the 3 installments and £900 for the 6 months program, rather 3 months, 6 months, 500, 900, right? So it's a discount that you're going to be having access to. And once you've locked in, just like how Priska has already locked in, whatever changes is not going to affect you, because even if you want to extend your program up to 6 months, you would still be on the rates you started with. Basically, that's how it works. Okay, so you could start with 3 months and decide to extend to 6 months. That's it. Okay, so Prince, I don't know if you fixed your network yet, but you can go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Unmute yourself. Try unmuting. Hello, Prince. Can you unmute yourself? Okay. Does any other person have a question? Do we have any other questions? For the people that ask questions in the chat, if you're good, if you understood everything we offer and all of that, just give me a thumbs up. I want to be sure that everyone is clear on what I have been able to explain. Everything you've heard today, you're clear on it. Just give me a thumbs up if you're clear. Okay, Lekon, you don't, I want to hear from you. Go ahead and mute yourself. You can speak, guys. You can actually speak. So I'm going to show you guys how to make payments, right? So I've shared the link in the chat. If you're looking to secure your slots, hop in on this program, then you can use that link in the chat. Let's say we're doing cybersecurity right now. So let's say you're interested in SOC analysis. Once you click on that link, you'll be taken to this platform, okay? You can look at it while you're with me right now on this session or even after. You click on secure internship. That's for the 3 months work experience. And now, if you want to start with one program for 3 months and continue with another program for 3 months, you can always do that. Just make sure that you have a little foundational knowledge on any of these programs you want to sign up for. So let's look at this in pounds, because let's just look at this in pounds. So if you're going for SOC analysis, for example, you see here that you have the 3 month SOC analysis program. That's £390 one-time payment. You can split it into 2. You can also split it into 3, which is the 130, like I mentioned, if you can't make a one-off payment, right? So you can secure your slot here on the call for your first slot, and you know that next month you follow up with another payment, your final month another payment. Maybe you start the program and you're like, this is not what I want. You can always opt out if you want, but trust me, I can assure you that you would not want to opt out. But that's just us telling you that we are giving you our word. This stuff actually is something that is worth, you putting you investing in, basically. So you click on secure internship and you see all I've said here. Due today, you make your first payment today, next is in July, and the final one is in August. Okay, you click on proceed. Now you fill out your checkout details and also pay in your most preferred payment method, and simple, you receive an email from Amdari acknowledging the fact that you've made your payment, and you have to fill this enrollment form. So you'll be redirected here to fill the enrollment form, which is here, payment registration form, right? Make sure that you don't miss out on that form. This form is going to give us the necessary information that we need about you and the whole program, okay? So I just want you guys to watch this is another of our intern, right? It's just her talking about she has got.
I think there's no sound coming from the video.
Oh. Wait, did you guys hear? Are you guys listening? Could you guys hear anything? Okay. All right. So Prince, your hand is still raised. We have 2 Prince's hands raised. Go ahead, unmute yourself, Prince. You can unmute. I don't know. I think you're having network.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my question is this. I just want to know whether for Security Operations Center, whether you people do give or show syllabus that will be covered. That's just my question.
Okay, so
Okay, so for
please mute
please
yourself.
mute yourself.
Hello?
Yes, there's
Yes,
feedback from
there's
your end.
feedback from
Just
your
mute
end.
yourself
Just
while I
mute
answer you.
while I answer you.
No, I've already spoken now.
Yes,
Yes,
just mute for now.
mute for now.
There's feedback from your end. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so your question was syllabus, right? It's not a training, but we have like a program structure, right? We have a program structure whereby you get to know how it is going to work in terms of every week. For every week, we have a project. Sorry, for every sorry, we have a project for every either 3 months, 6 months, whatever you want to do with us. You have projects you're going to be working on, and it is those projects that we share with you in form of project brief, right? So the project brief contains information about the business problem that you're going to be working with. I'm going to show you what that looks like too, right? So just like what author shared when he was talking to us, right? For his project now, he had a project brief, and that project brief was explained by his coach, right? In that brief, you get to know, okay, this is the project we're working with. This is the tools we need to use. These are the tools we need to use for this project and all of that. Let me show you what one of it looks like. So for each project we assign you to, you have something like that. And you'd also be working, you'd be working in Google Classroom. Okay, sorry, this is not what I should be sharing. You'll be working in Google Classroom with your team mates and your team leads, right? So everything is going to happen in the Google Classroom. We assign it to your project there too. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me bring this up, right? So yes, you have an outline of what it is going to look like. Okay, let me just do that right now. Just give me a few. Okay, so I'm going to show you for the 6 months, right? Now, you can see here, week one, what are you, okay, I can't share my screen. Let me try that again. All right, I think it's up now. Okay, so you see here, week one, orientation and onboarding. These once you start, right? Then you start with your tool training and project briefing, right? So in as much as we don't have like an outline for a particular career path, as the project comes, you will be assigned with your teammates. So let's say you have project one, your team lead is going to share it on your Google Classroom. This is project one. This is the walkthrough video. Let's have a meeting. A meeting will be set up. You get to, they would explain that project, walk you through the tools for that first week. Okay, you're getting to understand who are your teammates, what are we working on, what's the business objective is going to be shared with you. Now you start working on your project from that's week two. You're working on this project. You have drop-in sessions where you and your teammates are coming together, talking about your project. You are also really understanding how the whole, what you're supposed to do, what's expected of you for your project. Okay. Now that's how it continues. After each project, you have like a presentation. You're done with that project. You have a presentation with your team. You have other sessions like your CV revamping. So even if you have like a job, a day job, or you have you're in school, it's going to be flexible for you because you get to pick times that are convenient, just like my colleague, just like my our presenter mentioned. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Okay, I'm also going to show you what a project looks like. So everything is outlined. Your team lead is also going to really keep you in check, right? They'll be tracking your progress too. All your projects, you're going to get feedback when you submit it on Google Classroom. So you get to understand, okay, this is a mistake I made, this is a mistake you made, rather. You have to implement this next time. You're correcting those projects and submitting it again, right? So you're gaining experience by doing that, by doing it all that way. That's basically it. And like I mentioned, Google Classroom. So let's just look at another project other than what was presented today. So let's look at a project together. You know, I mentioned Google Classroom. So Google Classroom is going to be used for your presentations. So we said SOP, I think ethical hacking GRC. Okay. So this is okay. Let me look at this. All right, some of the quotes have already passed out. Okay, June 6th, this is recently updated. So let's look at one of their project briefs together. I think this is one. Okay, no, that's not. Okay, no, that's resources for the project. Let's see. This is a session. You know, if you miss a session, everything is going to be recorded and uploaded so that if you have any questions, okay, reports. Oh, okay. Sorry, it's really hard to find this stuff because the guys communicate a lot. So everything is uploaded here for everybody to see. I just need to find that. But if you have any other questions, you can go ahead and ask your. Okay, let's look at this together. All right, so this is pen testing, specialization, web penetration testing. Business focus is in the banking industry, and you see the tools they had to use for this project, right? Some of these tools might look unfamiliar, but your team lead is going to do all due diligence to ensure that you have been able to really understand how to install these tools, how to use it, how to navigate using these tools. So let's look at the business problem. So when a project is presented, they will give you something like this, right? You'll be assigned this kind of project brief. Resources is going to be assigned. Everything will be communicated effectively with you. So the presence of a publicly accessible development environment poses significant risks to the bank, exposure to internal source code and configuration files. So this is a pen testing problem, right? And they'll be solving this problem. Team lead is going to do all due diligence to explain all of this. And let's see the objectives. I think it has a scope, okay? All right, so this is what is expected of you. And also how you can go ahead solving these problems, right? What are the steps you need to take? Where do you start from? And where do you end at? That's literally it. There's a timeline for every project. Some are a week, some might be 2 weeks, some might take you 6, I said 6. It just depends, okay? So you'll be working on this project based on timeline and you have deliverables for each of these projects, okay? These are the tools recommended to use on this project and they worked with these tools. Now, if you go on some job descriptions, you see some of these tools there. Basically, you're going to see some of these tools there. They expect that you should be able to use some of them. So Amdari ensures that you have that experience. So at the end of the day, what should you do? We tell you what is expected of you at the end of the day. So now, I know that not everyone will be able to ask questions on this session, right? Let's say you're interested, but it's like you still need a bit of information. You still need to ask 1 or 2 questions. My colleague has dropped the clarity session link in the chat, right? So in the clarity session, we could you can finally secure your slots there, ask your individual questions. I think someone asked, okay, how do I go ahead and have another conversation? You can go ahead and book a clarity session so that you get more information on how to get started. Okay, so does anyone have any other questions? Hope this session has been really insightful for you. If it has, just give me a thumbs up because I actually enjoyed myself in this session. I enjoyed listening to an author in this session and I enjoyed listening to him answer some of your questions. So if this session has been clarifying for you or you've learned 1 or 2 things, just give me a thumbs up. I don't want to assume that nobody learned anything because I learned something. Give me a thumbs up. That's great. Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you, Lakon. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so you can book a clarity session. So we have like a one-on-one conversation with the team. You can ask your questions if you need a little bit more clarification before securing your slot. Just go ahead and book that session. But in the absence of any other question, I think at this point, I'm going to wish you guys a very lovely evening. But I hope nobody has any other question. You can book a clarity session in the chat. Go ahead and book that session. Okay, Sam, your hand is raised. We're just going to take you, then we'll call it in because we have already spent a lot of time here. All right, go ahead. We're going to give you a few minutes. Go ahead and ask your question, okay? Unmute yourself, Sam.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah, my question is this, because you presented a lot of the shock, the threatening, and a lot of things like that. Are you saying that we just have to pick one? Take for instance, if I want to do shock, you want to do this shock, and I want to do the other one, maybe the threatening and the hacking and some others. How would I do it? Are you saying that we can do everything together within 3 months, or I just have to pick one out of
You have
those?
to pick one. You have to pick one to start.
Okay, I have to just pick one.
Yes, you can start
Okay.
one in your first 3 months. Then maybe if you feel like, oh, you enjoyed the program, you can extend and choose another one
Okay.
to continue. Yes.
Okay.
So please, everybody, fill the attendance form so that you get access to the recording, right? So that if you want to go ahead and watch what author presented again, I dropped the attendance in the chat. So Sam, yes, you have to pick one to start. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And
All right.
please, the discount you are talking about, the discount, can take for instance, how long will the discount hold really? Is it 1 week or 2 weeks before the, take for instance, if I want to pay next week, can I still enjoy the discount?
Okay, so honestly, I am not in the position. It depends on if we've taken the number that we want for a particular slot,
Okay.
for a particular session, right? So I can't really say. It's until we've gotten to that number, then we close out discounts, then we continue with our regular pricing. That's how it works actually.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But if you're interested and you feel like this is something you want to secure ahead of time, right, you can just start with that first installment. Know that you've locked in already.
Okay.
So whatever, if maybe you have any you're already inside, so we could always walk around every other thing, right? That's how it is.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I will do that.
All right. So
Okay.
I've shared the payment link in the chat if you go ahead with your securing your slot, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Also book a clarity session so that we can still have another conversation after now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So does any other person have a question? Do you want me to clarify something? Do we have any of that in the chat? Or anybody? All right, so in the absence of all of that, I hope you filled the attendance form. I hope you booked the clarity session, and I hope this session was very insightful for you. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to wish you all a very lovely evening. I had a lot of fun listening to you. It was very insightful, and I'm going to wish you guys a very lovely evening. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for taking out time to join me this evening. You can take your time back, guys. Bye-bye.